Hello, guys. Hello. My name is Mercy, and welcome to God and Everything in Between, where faith meets real life. Okay, so for today's video, we're going to be doing a Q&A. Yes, a get to know me tag. And then I'm also going to be sharing my salvation story. Yes. So before we do that, I said something in my awareness video. I don't know how many of you watched it, but for those that watched it, I said there's going to be a little spice or a little difference. Let's put it that way. A little difference with my YouTube channel. And the difference is, and this was really an inspiration from God, to be honest. So the difference is that for every video that I drop, I'm going to be putting a song. So when I say a song, I'm going to be more or less like recommending a song for you to listen to, a song that blessed me, and I believe it will bless you too. So with that being said, the song for this video is Confidential by an Endless Ocean. Yes, yes, yes. Confidential by an Endless Ocean. Oh my God, that is such an amazing song. It's such a song that just, when the song is not, they're not speaking in tongues or something. It's just a soothing song, but the message is there. The message is clear. And the part of the song that I'm going to pick as like the most important part, or the part that ministered to me, is where he said, nobody can like me the way you do. Hey, ah, I mean, like nobody really can love you or like you the way God does. Nobody. Because nobody can die for you. So let's start from there. Anybody that wants to die for you, yeah, now we can now start to contend that, okay. But in the real sense of it, nobody's going to die for you. I'm so sorry. Nobody's going to die for you, especially without getting something in return. And Jesus died for you. So it means that nobody can really like you the way God does. And he said that for I am where you belong, Abby. For I am where, what did he say? For you are where I belong. Yes. So I belong to you, basically. I belong to you. And I mean, the song in itself is so amazing. Like I would really love for you guys to listen to it. Yeah, it's an amazing song. Kudos to an Endless Ocean. And this one is not publicity for anybody. It's just any song that ministers to me, and I believe that other people should also be blessed by that song. I mean, I will share it by all means. So yes, Confidential by an Endless Ocean. Check it out. If you've not checked it out, child, check it out. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Q&A video. Get to know me tag. But I mean, the first thing I have to even do is to introduce myself officially. So my name is Mercy Olawore. I am Yoruba. I am an accountant. My hobbies are, I mean, I just love music. I love watching sermons. I love watching videos. I love watching movies too. Any movie that just seems nice to me. I don't want to go into details because some of you will attack me. So let me just stop at I love movies. Any movie that is nice to me.
How could I forget? How? I love football, oh, Man City for life, like period.
Okay, so I'm going to be using my laptop to read out the questions for this video. So the first question is, what is your favorite movie or TV show? I don't. Do I have a favorite movie? No, I don't have a favorite movie because movies you just watch and go, and there's so many movies. But I would say my favorite TV show, the originals, originals all the time, and Vampire Diaries too, because it was so interesting. Like the cliffhanger at the end of every episode. No, those guys they tried, but originals killed it all. Yes, originals killed it all, and I mean, it was just very nice. And then also I love Tinsel. It's still running. Funny how when I was a bit younger, when I was much younger, I didn't really like it. In fact, I felt like what is this Tinsel thing? But I mean, as I grew older, my taste changed. So now I love Tinsel because it's just filled with like everyday drama, and there are things to learn from it. So it's not as if I'm just, watching it for fun. But yes, Vampire Diaries originals and Tinsel. Okay, so the next question is, do you believe in soulmates or just wise choices? Very interesting question. Well, no, I don't believe in soulmates. I'm so sorry. And wise choices, well, in a way, but I would say God's choice with wisdom. Yes, I'll say God's choice with wisdom. Why do I say that? Because you can claim that, oh, you are choosing this person with wisdom and all of that, but there are still some things that is only God that knows. Because remember, the heart of every man is only God that knows it. So at the end of the day, even if you've put in place certain wise choices and God is not the center, I'm so sorry. Somebody can pretend though. They will pretend to what they know they want or what they know that you want to hear or what you want to see. So I would say God's choice with wisdom. So question number 3. What do you think people get completely wrong about Christianity? Hmm. Um, hmm. This question, what do I think people get wrong about Christianity? I mean, I think that some people just think Christianity is just like aesthetics. And I've said this thing plenty times, especially now. Before, say like 10 years ago, Christianity was not what was raining. But it's like now everybody is a Christian. Everybody is using Christian songs on TikTok, dancing to it, forming child of God, God's angel, God's daughter, God's this, God's that. But I feel like what people get wrong about Christianity is that there's work to be done. Some people preach this overly um I don't know the English to use, but some people preach grace in such a way that, you don't have to be perfect. Obviously, you don't have to be perfect to come to God. But if you are in God and there's no change, there's a problem somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. So I believe that what people get wrong about Christianity is that Christianity is just by mouth. Some people feel like Christianity is just by mouth. And they will obviously not outrightly say that, Christianity is just by mouth. But I feel like that's what people get wrong because when it gets to the main things, when it gets to sacrificing certain things for Christianity or for God, let's put it that way, for God, you don't see plenty of people there. That's why they start giving excuses. And I'm like, no, Christianity is not about excuses. And when people say, oh, being a Christian is so hard, you're not even carrying the Holy Spirit along in the first place. So it's like, of course, it will be hard. But it's easy to say, I'm a Christian. No, it's so easy to say, I'm a Christian because the things or the doctrines of the scriptures, not many people know it. Not many people know it. It's so easy to just be going to church on Sunday, but you're not a Christian. So I feel like what people get wrong about Christianity is that it's just once you say it, you are a Christian. God's grace, God's grace, God's grace. And they forget that there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to being a Christian and remaining a Christian. So yes, that's my answer for that question. Next question. Have you ever lost friends because of your beliefs? Hmm. I mean, this question is going to be. I'm going to speak more about it in my salvation story, but I'm going to answer it. I mean, yes, I did lose friends because of my beliefs or because of my transition. So yeah. Then next question is, what is something most people assume about you that is totally wrong? They think I'm proud. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not proud. I'm a very nice person. To be honest, I'm a very nice person. I feel like people definitely assume that I'm proud. They really assume that. I can tell. You don't even need to say it. It's not later on, maybe when they get to know me, they not say it later on that, oh, I thought you were proud. I'm like, really? You just assume that I'm proud. You didn't even come and meet me. You thought I was a snob and all of that. But yeah, that one, I'm used to it, so I don't even have a problem with it. But me, I'm of the school of thought that first find out. First, at least speak to me. If I now snub you ahead, then you can ride with your impression. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I forgive all of you. I forgive you guys. Would you date someone who doesn't share your faith? Huh? No. That's just the simple answer. No. Why would I do that? I'm so sorry, but why? Why? See, me personally, I don't know about you, but personally, I don't really have strength to be changing anybody. First of all, I'm not even the one that does the changing. Holy Spirit is the one that does the changing. But I really don't have that strength to be changing anybody's child. So no, I can't. I would not date somebody that doesn't share the same faith with me. I should pardon my voice. Oh. I sang yesterday and then my voice suddenly rusky, be risky, be what do they call it? Rusty, whatever. But my voice is not so clear. So, what is one thing you won't compromise on, even for love? I won't compromise on my godly standards. I would not compromise on my godly standards because what is even love, self? What is this love that we're even talking about? That one is story for another day. But what's love? Love.
Talk about nípa love, love. Disclaimer: the love I was referring to is the worldly kind of love, because any love that Jesus is not the center of, it's not love. First John 4:16 says God is love, so that is his nature. Anything outside of him is not love. Now, let's get back into the video.
Down. I will not compromise because of love. And that's the thing, because even before you fall in love, please open your eyes. Don't fall. Don't fall, I beg. So that you don't have to be giving excuses and making unnecessary changes to your standards or bending your rules because of somebody's child. No. If you even get to a point where you start to bend your godly standards for somebody, that person is not for you. That person is not for you. Like that's literally the answer. So no, I would not compromise. Even what does this question mean by even for love? What is love? I beg. Okay, so question number 8. Have you ever felt pressure to be what you are not? Well, in a way, yes, I have. I have, but that was in the past. Not now, but yes, I have. Do you feel called to marriage, singleness, or you're unsure? I'm not unsure. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So, yes, I'm called to marriage. It is a beautiful thing. And funny how marriage is so important, especially in the society, if you think about it, because every single person that has made a bad decision or that has made a bad choice, it started from family. And I feel like God did not make Adam any other thing when he first created. He did not make him president. He did not make him pastor. He first made him what? A husband, a father. So yes, marriage is important. But will everybody get married? No, I mean, Paul the apostle did not get married because he had a bigger assignment and he didn't feel like, okay, I should have a wife. And that was his personal decision. I don't think God will ever impose singleness on anybody because he said it is not good for a man to be alone. So yes, people make that personal choice so that they can be fully consecrated with God, which is fine. But I know and I don't think God will ever force anyone or instruct anyone that, oh, don't marry. It's always a personal decision. But for me, I will marry. Oh yes, marriage. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and the last question. What is one habit or mindset you had to unlearn for your spiritual growth? Okay, so one mindset I had to actually unlearn for my spiritual growth was is not that deep. Don't be too spiritual. I had that mindset before, obviously before Christ, before I knew Christ like personally. I had that mindset of there's some conversations where you don't need to bring up Christ, or there's some conversations where just leave Jesus alone first. Let's just be normal. Let's just be normal. So that you don't be thinking that you're too Christian or this one likes God too much, or this one is too like spirit coco. Yes, that's the word. This one is too spirit coco. So yes, I had that mindset before that. Don't be too spiritual. Don't do too much. Don't it's not that deep. Not every time that you be bringing up God. But more, that mindset had to be changed. Funny how that mindset, it was not like something that I consciously knew that I needed to change, but it changed because I understood who Jesus was. I understood who God was. And that brings me to my anchor scripture for this channel in general. It is Romans chapter 12, verse 2. I love the GNT version. I'm just going to put it up here on the screen. It's so deep. And I feel like that should be everybody's anchor scripture in everything that they do. Just be reciting that Bible verse. He says, "Do not conform yourselves to the standards of this world, but let God transform you inwardly by a what? Complete change of mind, not halfway." Because there's some people that are Christians, but their change of mind or their mind, let's put it that way, their mind is divided into two. There's the one that God has completely changed, which is the half, and then there's the other part that still wants to use the worldly standards. But God said, by transforming you by a complete change of mind, when you become closer to God, there has to be a transformation of your mind. There just has to be a complete change of your mind. He said, then you'll be able to know the will of God, what is good and is pleasing to Him and is perfect. That part where they said what is good and is pleasing to Him, I feel like that question or that statement, sorry, that statement answers all these questions that, oh, is kissing bad? Is it bad to take alcohol? Is it bad to do this? Is it bad to wear clothes that are revealing? Is it bad to do so and so? I feel like that statement answers that question because not everything that is good and pleasing to God, not everything is necessarily um, not a sin. But let me rephrase, make I rephrase, okay? So things that are good and pleasing to God, or things, let's put it this way, things that are not good and are not pleasing to God doesn't necessarily have to be an outright sin. There are some things that is not a sin, oh, but is it pleasing to God? That's a question you need to ask. So I feel like people need to have a mindset shift from that position where any small thing they will ask you, is it a sin? Is it a sin? No, it's not about sin. You have to get to a point in your Christian journey that it's really not about it being a sin or not. It's more about, is this pleasing to God? Does it make me represent God well? Because remember, we're ambassadors of Christ. So let me know in the comment section if there's anything you can relate to that I've said, or if you have a different opinion. Because I mean, I love honest conversations. Like, trust me, I do. And if you want me to do a part two, if you want me to, then put it in the comment section down below. Or if you have any questions that you want me to answer, you can also put it down below. I didn't grow up perfect, right? I mean, I've made my own mistakes, even if it's not so much, but I've made my own mistakes. And I've had my own fair share of doubts, really, like doubting myself. I've had different experiences, but I would say where it all started from. I mean, I grew up in a Christian home, so and that's why when I see people that are like me or that were like me, I can totally relate because even me too. I you can just say that I've always been a Christian, but have I really been a Christian right from the start? I grew up in a Christian home, and I'm so grateful for my parents because at least I know that they did their bits in training me. So I feel like to a large extent or for a large part of my life, I had more fear of my parents or fear of disappointing my parents than the fear of God because I didn't really know God. It's more like they knew God for me or I knew God through them. Not I didn't know God by myself. So I'll just take it back a bit to when I was in secondary school going into university. I remember having like different situations where my teacher will call me and be like, how are you friends with this person? That you and this person, you people are not the same. And I got that a lot. I actually got that a lot. But for me, I saw it as well. I mean, opposites attract, and that was a major mistake that I made because I felt like, I mean, since opposites attract, so that's probably why we are friends. But I didn't really pay attention to the fact that we were opposite in the most important thing, which is values. So it's more like, yes, batteries, when you are putting battery into a remote control or something, it has to be plus and minus, but they are still batteries. They are still of the same element, and which is the point that I missed. Yes, opposites can attract, but you guys must have the same fundamental element, and which is your Christian values, your moral standards, the things you believe in. I can be an introvert, you can be an extrovert, as my friend, but we both believe in God. We both have moral values, we both have our godly standards. So in that way, that's when opposites attract. But if you are opposite down to your beliefs or down to your values, I'm so sorry, but it cannot work. So that was the mistake I made at that time. I didn't really see the big deal in it. Remember, like I said before in one of the questions that was asked, my mindset was, there's no big deal. Not really, not really. People should go to church and all of that. So, back, I mean, fast forward. Fast forward to when I got into university. This person was still my friend. And you know when our parents say, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. That thing is so true. Ah, that time I didn't even really understand what it was. Because I mean, we are all growing. I didn't understand what it was. But you see that statement, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are, it's so real because at the end of the day, one person is going to influence the other person. Either the good person, most times it's not the good person because the good person, for you to be friends with that kind of person, is more like you don't even know who you are. And in how do I put it? You stand for good things, but you don't know why you're standing for good things. But the person that's standing for bad things, they are doing it with their full chest. If a devil is sponsoring, devil is sponsoring them literally. So one person will influence the other. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. But friendship is so important in the journey of life. And so I got into 100 levels, still friends with this person. And I noticed that in some conversations, it's more like I was ashamed of God. It was more like I was too shy to talk about God. And thinking about it in retrospect, that's such a bad thing. If you are shy to talk about God, I'm so sorry. Leave God alone. Just focus on the devil. Yes, because if you are shy to talk about God or you are ashamed to say, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I don't stand for this. Yes, I do stand for this. Because there were conversations that we had those days that people would say things like, I bet this one does not know anything or this one is a good girl, blah, blah, blah. And that time, I don't know, for some reason, I felt like being a good girl was, oh, you are rubbish. Like nobody will rate you. That was how I felt at that point in time. So there were situations like that where I literally had to dim the light of Christ in me, even though I loved God or I thought I did because, I mean, where I grew up from. And so it got to a stage where, because of a particular character trait that the person has, that is completely different from me, which is back to what I said, opposites don't always attract. It depends on the elements of those opposites, um, opposite things, right? So the character trait that the person had compared to mine were very polar opposites, very polar opposites, and there were some things that I was keeping up with for a very long time. And then it just got to a point where I was just tired. I'm just like, bro, I cannot do this. Because aside from even being ashamed of Christ, there were still other things that I knew was affected. My self-esteem, how I saw myself, yeah, self-esteem, how I saw myself, all join, and all of that, self-worth and all of that. So I just like after we had like a sort of like a fight, yeah, it was a fight. I just decided that nah, I'm not doing this again. But it was a very tough decision. So anybody that can relate to this friendship breakup is hard. Trust me, it's hard because it was a very tough decision. I started thinking that come on, will I start from like this? Like that was my major concern, to be honest, because I was already in university. This person's friends were my friends. We had all of us, we had mutual friends. So I was like, where will I start from? But at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like it was God. But I just had that, like, no, I can't do this again. I can't do this again. And so I went through with it. It was a tough time. It was really, really, really difficult. It took a toll on me because I now became friends with somebody else as a result of, like, when you stop being friends with this person, but you're not genuinely forgiving the person. So it's like another person that doesn't like the person, you now become friends with them. That also happened. I'm not proud of it, so please, I beg. But anyway, so there was that. And then I became friends with this person. Obviously, the foundation was already wrong in the first place. So my eyes saw if my eyes saw shaggy. Let me just put it that way. My eyes saw shaggy. So I had to end my friendship with that person also. And then when that happened, it just felt like I was alone. This was specifically 200 level first semester because the hostel I even picked, my new friend that was already getting to know, but obviously at that point I didn't even really know her. So she was in another hostel. So I was basically, let's just put it, I was basically the only one in this particular hostel, coupled with the fact that I do not have friends like that. I was just getting to know her. So that was like the most, if I can use the English, the most lonely time of my life. I felt so alone. I felt like, oh my God, can I go home? Anybody that knows me, they know that that time in school, I'm always so excited to resume school. But that semester, I felt like, let me just go home. Like, I'm tired. Like, I need to leave this environment. That was how bad it was. There were times where I would oversleep for tests. My result itself was even bad that semester. It shows how much of effect it had on me. The whole starting afresh. That was my fear, but I had to face the fear. And then, yeah, that semester ended, even though I wanted it to end so bad. Like, I wanted it to end so bad. And that semester ended, and we came back home for vacation. And I don't know, I don't know how it started, but I feel like I now started communing with God at that period in time because I just felt like, since I don't have any friend now, it's only God I know that will answer me or will listen to me. And so from small, I just started talking to God and all of that. And then I was just engulfed in so many YouTube videos. Pastor Kingsley, God bless you, sir. Pastor Mildred and the Stalwart Lovers. Those were the three channels that literally blessed me, literally transformed me, literally gave me the self-esteem that I was missing. Obviously, because I began to find my footing in Jesus. So obviously my self-esteem, I started to see my identity. Because trust me, before that time, I didn't really have an identity because I was just like, it's not that deep, it's not that. So sometimes they make some certain comments. I go back to my room, I'm like, Abi, I'm the one that is the problem. You get, because I didn't have an identity. And so drawing closer to Jesus gave me an identity, gave me self-esteem. Definitely it was a process, but I started consuming these guys back to back. Like, trust me, I was binge watching all of their videos down to 5 years ago. Pastor Kissy especially and Pastor Mildred was binge watching their videos back to back. And it's not just about relationship. Obviously, God now started giving me a likeness towards relationship. By the way, when I say that, oh, or I post, for example, things about relationship and all of that, and people are like, what's wrong with this one? Do you want to marry tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah. I just look at them, I'm just like seriously, like, are you for real? Are you for real? So I have to wait. I have to wait till it's time for me to marry before I start learning about marriage. And it's not even just about marriage, it's more about families because a lot of people need to be healed. A lot of people need to be healed. And the healing starts from you. If you yourself have not healed, you cannot help somebody else to heal. So when people say that, I'm just like, you don't even know what you're doing. Go and sit down. Go and sit down. But anyway, so I binge watched them. And before you know it, I started growing. I started studying the word, started praying, started soaking myself. Emphasis on soaking myself with the things of God. Before Mount Zion movie did not used to interest me. I would literally be sleeping on Mount Zion movie. But at that period where I was transitioning, because remember I said something before, a complete change of mind. There are things I can point out that I used to do before that I don't do them anymore, or I don't find interest in them anymore. Why? Because God has set in, God has literally taken over. So it's like it's evident in the things I do. Mount Zion before, I was just like, these people, ugh. But now blesses my soul every time I'm watching edifying content. It's better to just focus on one person because you are losing both ways. You are losing both ways. Remember, the Bible says that if you're neither cold nor hot, I will spit you out. So if you are mixed, there's no point being mixed. Just be cold or be hot. Be cold or be hot. Don't be doing half worldly standards, half godly standards, or the ones that favor you, those are the godly standards you follow, and then the ones that don't favor you start to find excuses for it. No, that's not the way to go. But basically, yeah, my own salvation story is not oh my god, oh my god, oh God did this. I mean, I feel like my own it was the grace of God because not everybody has the grace to come to God more like by themselves. Even though something happened for me to have gotten closer to God, but it was not something grievous. But yeah, God changed me, that's for sure. I was not entirely a bad person, but you see that identity, you see self-worth, you see FOMO. I battled with FOMO so much. Oh my God, fear of missing out. Even though there was still that grace that God gave me, even when I was not really close with Him, to not do certain things, they just took lights. Yes, he gave me the grace to be able to withstand some certain things that that pressure did to me. But I know that the major thing is my identity. Oh my God, my identity. Because if you don't have an identity, you'll be swayed by anything. You begin to doubt yourself. I had a lot of doubts that now that I'm looking at it, I'm just like, thank God for God, though. Thank God for God. I'm telling you. So if you're watching this video and you are still struggling with whether you should come fully into Jesus, or you're still struggling with that, oh, I don't want to be too spiritual. I don't want people to see me as too spiritual. The first thing is that you are definitely around the wrong people. The moment you start feeling like I don't want to be too spiritual, in fact, that's the answer. You're already around the wrong people. And if it is a you thing where you've not really found a reason why you should draw close to God, I just pray for you that you find it as soon as possible. Because see, rapture is real low. Jesus is coming soon. And aside from that, a relationship with God just gives you peace. Peace. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. You see, the level of boldness that God has given me now, and coupled with knowledge and all of that and wisdom, it's on another level. It can only be God. That's all I can say. It can only be God. So if you are struggling or you are going through what I went through, which is the people around me made me feel like, don't go and be too spiritual. Maybe they're not going to look you say, you don't know anything, or things like that. This is your cue today. In fact, this is the message from the Lord. Change your friends. I know, I promise you, I know it's going to be hard. Like changing friendships is hard because you guys definitely have mutual friends and all of that. But just know that God is going to walk on that journey with you. It's going to be hard, but it's going to walk with you. And that's the difference. The difference between when you are in the world and when you're not in the world. The Lord will walk with you. And before you know it, you start to find purpose because without God being in the picture, you won't find purpose. You might have money, you might have some certain things, but you won't find purpose. And at the end of the day, what are you on this life for if you're not fulfilling purpose? Remember, we are just pencils in the hand of the Creator. Anyways, so that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment. Yes, drop a comment, drop anything. If you want me to say anything, or if you want me to talk about anything, or what bless you, or what did it for you in the video, please drop the comments down below. Share this video to as many people as you can, especially young people, because I feel like there are a lot of young people, teenagers, people in university, even adults. There are a lot of them that are going through lack of identity, because that was the problem, or that was what God saved me from, lack of identity. Because when you don't have identity, you will not have self-esteem, you will not have you won't even know who you are. So whatever people tell you is what you take as your identity. But if you have an identity in Christ, He will give you a boldness that you cannot explain. See me doing this video now is the boldness of God. I'm telling you, me, I would never have thought that I'll be doing YouTube video. Do you get? So share it to as many people as you can, and may the Lord bless all of you. Till the next video. Bye.